it sound too easy? It's got to be more complicated, right? Come on. All right. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the course. I'm not going to talk about lining up for the swim. That is just crazy. That is just totally crazy. That's a huge downside to this race, right? The upside is you're not like me having to start with 2,800 other people on top of each other at the same time. That's a huge upside. Having just done that, it is a huge upside. Take the weight. Be ready to wait, be ready to sit, whatever you need to do out there. When you do start swimming, at the end of the day, the net here, this swim is not that different from other Ironman swims. Don't freak out too much about it. If you're a 120 swimmer in another Ironman or 120 swimmer in the pool, you're going to be pretty darn close to a 120 out here. It actually nets out to be okay the way it's staggered, okay? What's nice about it is because of the time trial start, you've almost got a nice line of people out there in front of you, okay? So when you're sighting, you've actually got a line of people plus the buoys who are heading out there, okay? So you've got something else to look for. What we talk about in the Swim Inside Endurance Nation is swim only as fast as you're able to maintain your form. That is it. There's no speeding up to get a draft or slow, or you know, don't cut to the island. There's no secret place in there or anything like that. Swim your strokes. For me, my good form technique cue is 4-count breathing. And I do 4-count breathing. If I'm breathing 4-count swimming, then I'm in a relaxed place. I'm swimming long and smooth. That's where I'm smooth in the pool. If I shorten up to 2-count breathing, or sometimes even 3-count breathing, then I know my form is starting to fall apart. And we've all done those things in the pool, right? I mean, you know, unless you have one of those Swim P3 players, swimming is boring. It's all get out, especially the last 8 weeks, right? You're like, another 4K workout? Awesome. I want to shoot myself. So you've all done that mental long set swimming, right? This is no different. Stay in your game. The way that I stay in the game is I count my strokes. Because counting my strokes focuses me on what I can control and my technique and my form, okay? The good thing is, in this river, you can't really look around at other people under the water. Be like, he's a really good, you can't see anything, right? Like, is that a human? A live one? Over there, I don't know. Is that a log? Swim your strokes, be smooth, stay as long as you can. Swim here is really just the price of admission, okay? That's the way it is at any Ironman. But there's no secret advantage to be had here whatsoever. To go too hard in the swim is to give away your race later in the day. So be smooth on the swim, okay? You come out, you hit transition, you exit transition, you're out on the bike. The way the weather's going to work tomorrow is humidity will be higher in the morning like this morning, and then it lowers across the course of the day down in the 40s as the temperature goes up into the low 80s. So when you start out on the bike, it's going to feel a little cool, a lot of moisture in the air, okay? You may be tempted not to drink as much. Your number one goal on this bike course is to take in as much fluids as you can. Most people hit the first aid station at an Ironman and they're like, why'd they put an aid station here? Like, I haven't even touched my bottles yet. I don't need an aid station now. If you look, everyone kind of goes around that aid station. Your goal tomorrow is to hit that aid station needing bottles, needing them, which means you've been drinking. Like, no SHIT, as soon as you get out there, you are drinking, okay? I'm not worried about how fast people are going. I don't usually say this at other races, but you need to start drinking. You need to have 2 to 3 bottles an hour in you, okay? All the time. And I'm gonna get more into detail on that in a second. Let me talk macro level about the course real quickly. Tomorrow there's gonna be a north wind, okay? About 8 miles an hour it's gonna top out at, which means it's gonna be kind of blowing in at you as you go out. So the out portion of it, it's kind of relatively sheltered down here on River Road. But once you get out on the main road, you're going to feel a little bit of a headwind. Okay, so it's not going to be, you're not going to see the numbers on the dial that you want. Or rather, you're going to have to work hard to see those numbers on the dial that you want to see. But because you're smarter than that, you're not going to do it. Inside Endurance Nation, we talk about the first 60 to 90 minutes of your day is JRA pace, which is just riding along, which is what we would ride if all of us decided to go for a bike ride together. To stay safe and for all of our abilities to stay together, we would just JRA it out there. You're going to JRA it out on this course for the first 60 to 90 minutes. Critical to the end of your day, okay? I'll tell you why in a minute. As you head out, the way I want you to think about this course is you look at the map. If we're heading out of town this way, we got the out and back, and then we got the loop that goes around. The wind's coming in this way as you're riding out, right? Which means when we come home, we're going to have a bit of a tailwind. But every time you go north-south on this course, you're hitting hills, okay? And the way the hill, so the out and back, you're gonna hit a hill. When you take a right on 393, you're gonna hit a hill. When you take a left, once you go through LaGrange and you make that sharp left, even back through Esprit Parkway and all that, Old Sligo, you're gonna hit hills. Every time you go north-south, you hit hills on this course. East-west, not so bad, but you got that headwind, okay? The whole context of your bike race is focusing on the last 33 miles of your ride, okay? The last 33 miles. You'll see the sign when you make the left at the gas station to come back into town on 42. It will say 33 miles to Louisville. You may feel good about that. You may not feel so good about that. If you have paced yourself properly, you will feel good about it, because those 33 miles is where your bike split is made on this course. Because you're going to have your JRAing it at the start. You're going to have a headwind every time you head north anyway. Every time you head east. And north-south, you got big hills. And the hills in Louisville are always, they are down up hills, okay? So usually when you ride a hill, you're like, oh man, I'm climbing this hill, but at least I got this payoff on the other side, right? Here in Louisville, they are down up hills, which is like, oh wee, I'm going 30 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I'm going 5 miles an hour. Twice as long as I was going down. Why am I always climbing so much longer? And if you look, I looked at my my power file yesterday, I rode the course yesterday. Every time I slowed down below 10 miles an hour, the temperature on my bike computer went up 5 degrees. Every time you slow down, you get hotter. And you'll feel it, especially on the run as well. If you stop moving, it gets hot right away, as soon as that wind is off your body, okay? So keep that in mind. So when you're thinking about this bike course, easy for the first 60 to 90 minutes of the bike ride. Then you settle into your steady pace. You have been drinking like a fool. Drinking like a fool. You must pee at least 2 times on this bike. If I see you, usually on the run, I ask people how they're doing. I'm just going to ask you how many times you pee. Right? We'll get a little personal tomorrow. If you show me the pee sign 2 or more, 3 or however many you got, I don't know. I know you're in a good place. You have done less than 2 or you barely made number 2, you are going to be in trouble on that run course. Because once you start running, you cannot get enough fluids into your body as you continue running, whatever your pace is, to continue to grow. And the only option at that point in time is to slow down, is to walk, rehydrate, and grow. Okay? So on this bike course, I'm not so worried about the terrain. What I am worried about is thinking about 2 things, the hydration and the hills. I'll talk about hydration first. Again, hydration, super, super critical. If you were deciding today, do you want to have that 3rd vinyl cage or not? Because on Slow Twitch you saw a thread that said this cage with this shape, with that yaw, means it's going to slow you down. If you're having that conversation, I'm going to smack you. Like, I'll do that after this race. You need that extra cage. Okay, you need the extra cage on this race. When you hit an aid station, this is how you're going to work aid stations, okay? Because everyone here will always be stopping at every aid station for something, okay? Because you are drinking the whole time. You are drinking like this is the last water you will ever get, okay? When you ride up to an aid station, you see an aid station coming. What you do is you reach down and you get whatever water bottle is on your bike, even if it is your beloved Endurance Nation. I paid too much money for this water bottle. You drink as much of that water as you can. The rest of the water, you pour it on the back of your neck, okay? Cooling yourself off here. Or you can dump it in your shorts for your femoral artery, okay? Don't do this while you're riding your freaking bicycle at 18 miles an hour into an aid station. There's no windshield wipers on your glasses. You've never done this, but it's a bad idea. If you have a special helmet with a little hole up here, you're going to be trying to find that little hole, right? If you go, where is it? You know, and it's coming over here, you're like, that's not it. Back of your neck, dump it on your shorts. So you drink as much as you can, you dump the rest of the water bottle, even if it's warm, you're not going to drink it. You drink cold water anyway. You throw the bottle into the net. You ride up to the volunteer. As you're riding up to the volunteer, you point at the one that you want. This lets them know you're coming. It lets other people know that you're going to a volunteer behind you. Okay? Aid stations are the most dangerous part of this course. Most dangerous. Point to your volunteer. Hopefully there's a couple of different volunteers. There's experienced volunteer. There's, I hope you're a good biker volunteer. And then there's, I've never done this before, but I like standing out here like this volunteer. You see someone standing like this, they're trying to take you down. Right? They're out to get you. So pick your volunteer.
Pick your volunteer.
Get your bottle. I take it, I rack it, and I go to the next volunteer. I get the next water bottle because the course is mirrored in what it mirrors out. So if it's water, perform, food, perform, water. So there'll be two options for you to get water or perform, whatever you're drinking. That second person, you get that water bottle, but you're then going to drink as much of it as you can, pour the rest of it on the back of your neck, or dump it into your shorts, and then you ride again. The net being, when you've left that aid station, you are full of water here, you are coated in water on the outside, your bike is full of water, and you now may proceed to the next aid station. Okay? That is critical. Keeping your core temperature down on this bike ride and getting those fluids in you is critical. Okay? So it's drink, dump, toss, get, rack, get, drink, dump, toss, and go. Alright? I'm not so worried about what you do in transition as I am worried about that. Because you got about 10 of those chances on the course, and you got to get almost everyone right if you want to have a good race here. Okay? If you have stuff that you need to, on your nutrition plan, if your nutrition plan involves you mixing stuff while you're out there on the day, there is no place on this course, save for the last 33 miles, where you really have a chance to settle in and do something like that. I tried to do it yesterday and I still screwed it up, because 42 kind of has a lot of bumps. My Coke just blew up all over. Next to my Infinite on my bike, I now have Coke, and I spilled Perform on it this morning. I think I'm going to get a new bike. But the point being, the worst accident I saw last year was on the out and back, and it was two people who were trying to simultaneously pour powder and water into their front bottles while riding, and they just went right into each other. And they're only, how fast are you going? 8 miles an hour to an aid station? You know what I mean? At that speed? And his bike was ruined, and she broke her collarbone. Just like that, right? So if you have to do that, just pull over. Like, go through the aid station and go clip out, show everybody your leg, you're clipping out, stand down on the side of the road, not a lot of room over there, stand down on the side of the road and do it. Take 30 seconds, because that is way better than waiting for an ambulance to come and get you because you thought you were all slick Ricky, right? So don't do that. Now, talking about the hills here, hopefully I put a little bit of the fear of God into you about these hills, okay? Because again, every time you go down, it means there's an up, okay? That's all you should be thinking about. And 80% of the time, that up is going to require you to be in your small chain ring, okay? I can't change your gears for tomorrow. Your cassette is what it is. However,